Hey guys, Roby here with another Divi Engine tutorial, and I am excited because I found something out with Divi Form Builder that just got me giddy, and it is too good to not share. So today I'm going to show you how to utilize Divi Form Builder to integrate with pretty much any platform that you can imagine out there, and it's all with the help of some AI stuff, some automation stuff. And it's kind of a hack to get around needing Zapier to integrate with other platforms. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at what we'll be building today. All right, so what we've got here is what looks like kind of an unassuming form, but with Divi Form Builder. And this can really apply to so many different things. Let's quickly walk you through what's going to happen. Is this form is going to be submitted. It's got a name, an email, and a message field. Pretty simple stuff, right? But what it's then going to do, we're going to be utilizing N8N, which is kind of like an automation workflow tool, but it's got a bunch of AI sprinkled in there and a lot of other fun stuff that you can do. Now, what I've got here is something that might look a little foreign to you, but stick with me. It's going to be easy. So what this does, this says that it's going to utilize the incoming webhook, which is facilitated with Divi Form Builder. It's going to go ahead and classify that text when that form is submitted into whether it's a sales message, whether it's an other message, or whether it relates to missing documentation. If it's a sales message, we want to react really quickly, right? So what's going to happen is that it's going to send a message directly to one of the sales team people's phones so that they can react quickly, because we all know how precious those sales calls are. Now, if it is a other message, it's just going to do the regular email notification. So it's not going to do anything within N8N right here within our AI tool. And then if it does relate to missing documentation, it's actually going to go ahead, figure out what plugin it's about, and summarize what documentation is missing. And then it's going to post it to a Google Sheet that I have linked up right here. Now, things you're going to need for this is you're going to need to have N8N either self-hosted or installed. This could probably work with some other automation workflow tools, but this is the one that I'm really excited about. And it's just to demonstrate the amazing stuff that would be possible between Divi Form Builder and making your forms truly smart and kind of take away a lot of the limitations out there. The other thing that you're going to need is an OpenAI API key. I don't know why I can't get that out today, or some of the other AI services, but we'll cover that when we get to that point. But the purpose of this is to kind of show you how this works and what is possible. So let's go ahead and submit our form really quickly. I'm going to type in my name, my email address, and then I'm going to add a question in there so that it knows that this is going to be relating to a sales email. So I'm going to say, I am interested in Divi for e-commerce. Can I please have a coupon? Let's try that and see what happens. And now when I'm going to go over and click here, you can see that webhook coming in. It's going to execute, and it went to Twilio and executed that text message to my phone. And then when I click here, I can see here that a text message came in asking for a coupon code. So how awesome is that? It captures the user's name and everything. And right now I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get going with this awesome Divi tutorial. All right, so here I am in N8N, and if you want to know more about N8N or sign up for N8N, I will link that in the description here. We currently have it self-hosted, and it's really easy actually to set up. If you use something like Coolify, very simple, one-click installation, and you're good to go. So now, the first step that you do when you create a new workflow in N8N is you're going to need to go ahead and add your first step. Now, when you click that, it's going to open up all these different options. And, we can probably do some more content on this in the future. But for right now, I'm going to stick to what's relevant to this video. So this is going to go with a webhook call, which is triggered by Divi Form Builder. So you're going to want to select that. Now, Divi Form Builder is going to do a post, webhook call, or API call, however you want to call it. So we're going to click post in there. And then what we want to do is, for now, we just need this post URL. I can actually make it my test URL. So if I click that right there, we're on production. Geez. Okay, here we go. Post to test. And then all we need to do is on Divi Form Builder, I've already built this form out. So if you don't have a form, go ahead and build a simple form out if you want to test or follow along. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings for this form. Now, there's no brain surgery involved with setting this up on the Divi Form Builder side. And all you need to do is kind of scroll down here to where it says extra. And now you're just going to enable send to Zapier. Now, of course, it says Zapier. And like I said, it's kind of a hack that I figured out. So you're going to go ahead and paste that URL that we just copied here from our N8N workflow, which is still a baby workflow because we haven't done anything with it yet, right in there. And this is pretty much all you need to know for this side of things. Now, I will note, though, because of the way the N8N works and these webhooks get sent, I would recommend having some clear field IDs that indicate what these fields are, because they do get sent over just like that. So that's that. So I'm just going to go ahead and save my form now. And we can actually already do something here. So if I exit the Visual Builder, I'm on the front end of my form. And if I come here to N8N and I click on this listen for test event, that's going to put this thing in like, I'm waiting for some information mode. And the only thing it's waiting for, of course, is for me to submit my form. Bob, we'll just say bob@bob.com. And this time I'm just going to type gibberish because this automation in N8N is not built yet. So submitting, okay, great. It has been submitted. So if I come back here, you can see all the data that's been received by this webhook, which is pretty amazing when you think, about the possibilities about what you can do with this, right? So depending on what's on that form, there's so many different things you can do. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to go breeze through some simple operations, okay? So I'm going to go here and go back to my canvas. I'm going to take us out of test mode, and we're going to add the first step in here. Now, N8N, kind of like Divi, has a ton of different modules. They call them nodes here in N8N that you can utilize to build out these automations. And you can see there's some for AI, data transformation, flow, all sorts of stuff. Human in the loop, even if you want human approval to some of these things, it's pretty cool. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is use one of the AI features, and we're going to utilize the text classifier. Because remember, what we're trying to do here is classify whether the data that's coming in is a sales email, so you want to react nice and quickly, whether it is missing documentation so that you can keep a list of documentation that clients might be missing, and then just another placeholder for like something that doesn't relate to anything, and it will just be the normal email. And also important to note that your notification emails or confirmation emails, everything will still execute as normally, even with this active. So just so you know, those will still continue as normal. Okay, so now you can create different categories here in N8N with the text classifier. So our first category is going to be, okay, well, this is a sales message, right? Now, the beauty of N8N is now it will utilize your description here to evaluate the input text that you get. I should actually go back here, and I'm going to delete this really quickly, and I'm just going to test my workflow again because I want it to actually have some data. So let me refresh this page here, and I can say Roby and just go with roby@diviengine.com, and then let's use a real world scenario here. And let's just say I was looking for the Divi Form Builder docs and could not find much about using the Zapier integration. Why not? That doc does exist, but just for the purposes, using the Zapier integration. There you go. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead, submit. And it's going to go through. We're going to see this just received some data. If you want to see that data, you just open up that incoming webhook again. And here you can see, here's my name, my email, as well as the message that was sent along. Now, we can use that in subsequent nodes in our flow. So we're just going to go back here and we're going to add the text classifier again. And here on the left-hand side, you can now see everything's been pulled in, right? So now we need to decide, what do we want it to evaluate? So text to classify. So if we scroll down a bit here, you'll see our message. And remember that field ID that I mentioned earlier? nice and easy, comes through just like that. You drag it over, and it'll even give you a preview of what was contained within that. Now we need to go and say, okay, now we need our categories. Now we're going to say, first one is for sales. So we will say that the text indicates a question relating to sales. Simple as that. We'll add another one where we can go ahead and say documentation. And we can say the text indicates that documentation is missing. And then lastly, we'll just do a catch-all for other, and we'll just say the text does not relate to sales or documentation. Simple as that. So the AI is going to use that almost like a prompt that says, okay, well, evaluate this text and tell me, does it relate to sales? Does it relate to missing documentation? Or does it relate to something else? And we can actually go ahead and tell it to test it, but it's going to tell me, nope, why not? Let me show you. So this is an AI component. So this is where that OpenAI API key comes into consideration. And when I click on plus here by the model, you'll see that all these different options come up here. So you actually can choose from any of these if you have an API key for one of those. So I already have my OpenAI chat model connected. And you can see here, now you can go ahead and you can go create new credentials, and then that's a whole hooking up process. I'm not going to show you that because there's so many videos out there already doing that. So yeah, I'm not going to waste your time with that. Now you can also go ahead and select the model. And yes, as you can see, it pulls in all the different models in there. I'm just going to keep it on GPT-4o mini. And that's going to be that. And then I can just go back here. And now if I go back on my text classifier and I click on test this step, it's going to say, okay, well, this one has to do with documentation. And that's exactly what it was, right? The question was, I was looking for the Divi Form Builder docs and could not find much about using the Zapier integration. Awesomeness. Okay, so we're making progress here. Now we need to decide, okay, well, what are we going to do with that now that it's been classified? And you can see that it's got these branches here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the documentation branch because now we need to add another element in there. Now, this is probably the most complicated step out of all of these because now we're going to go and connect an AI agent. And I know that that's a big buzzword right now. And what these agents do, they act like ChatGPT, but they give them superpowers. So when I add my agent here, and I'm just going to go back first really quickly, you can see that you can connect a chat model. You can give it memory. We're not going to touch on that right now, but that's more for when there's a back and forth between you and the AI agent. And then there's tools. And now for the tools, we're going to be utilizing Google Sheets because we want to add a row in a Google Sheet to let us know, hey, we need to go and create this documentation or verify whether it's there or not, or maybe something else is wrong. Now, setting up the AI agent is fairly simple. You go ahead and, again, you need to connect a AI model. And I'm going to use the same one that I just did for OpenAI GPT-4o. And then you'll see that it's red, but it will go away there real soon. And for the actual agent, so we're not going to be utilizing a connected chat trigger. We're going to be using our own definition. And what is the input is basically what you're asking yourself you want to use here. And now here you can see that there's two different options. There's fixed and there's expression. Fixed basically means you're giving it static text, and expression means that you kind of use these variables on the left-hand side within it. And I'm going to go with expression. So what I'm going to say is, well, not say yet. I'm just going to pull the message in here, and I'm going to say, okay, cool. Here is the message. And then I'm going to say that evaluate this text and determine which plugin they are referring to, as well as create a short summary of the missing documentation. Simple as that. Natural language, easy to understand, and we can actually go ahead and, like previously, go ahead and test the step. And what it'll do, it'll go think because it's querying the AI model now, and then it comes back to text. It refers to the Divi theme and its integration with Zapier. And then you can read through this, and it's got all this information for you about what's missing in there. Now, I'm finding that this is a little bit of a long description, and I will say, okay, I'm going to change it up. And you can kind of see here that it just kind of identified Divi here and saying that it's got a form building feature or whatever. We're going to be a little bit more specific. Evaluate this text and determine which Divi engine plugin they're referring to, as well as create a short summary of the missing documentation. And I will just add no longer than 15 words. Simple as that. And then we can test it again. And you kind of see how you can massage this back and forth. And there you go. This text refers to Divi Form Builder by Divi Engine. Documentation for Zapier integration in the Divi Form Builder is lacking. Fantastic. Now we need to go ahead and give it a tool which is connecting to the sheets. And I'll go right here and go and type in sheet. And you can see there's a Google Sheets tool. This thing is loaded with so many tools in there. So really, your mind should be viewing right now about like the different options and possibilities this has with Divi Form Builder. So I already connected my Google Sheets account. Again, same thing as with the OpenAI credentials. There are so many videos out there, but also they do have the Docs button here, and that'll also go and show you how to go ahead and set that up. Now the tool description, I'm just going to have it set it automatically. And now the resource within the document, okay, that's fine. We're not going to get rows as the operational function. We're going to go and actually append row, right? And then you go and define which document. I'm going to go here, missing docs, and then from the sheet, and you can actually go by sheet within that Google Sheet. You can go ahead and there it has all this fun stuff. Now it says, what values do you want to send? Now you can, again, go and pull things out here. If your form is a little bit more specific, where it's asking specifically what plugin are you having issues with? What plugin do you have questions about? But here's the magic. You can go ahead and let the AI model define what that value is. And I really want you to understand how well this works. So yeah, here we go. Now, it's not going to let me run this step because I need to run the parent now. So let's go back here, and all this has been set up. So now we've got our text classifier, which is going to go ahead and run through and do this part. And if I click play here, I come back to my doc here. Let's see what happens if there's no error. Still thinking, it went through, it says it did it, it's not there. So we can go ahead and click here. And what this probably is relating to is the fact that we need to run everything from the start. So let's try this again from the beginning. I'm just going to go save that. I'm going to end my test. I'm going to start it again. And now it's waiting for me to submit my Divi form. I'm going to go say I'm Bob at bob.com. And then I'm going to say, where are the docs regarding linked post types in Divi machine? I'm going to go ahead and submit that. We'll come back and watch this workflow do its magic. You can see how it goes through all these different steps. It's thinking, and that's how it like talks to the AI. And here we go. Divi machine, link post type documentation missing. Amazing. So that's all that you need to do for this one. So let's move on to the next one. So our next classification underneath, and this is the simplest one of all, is other. And we can just say, type in nothing, no operation, do nothing, because guess what? We're going to do nothing when it's that. Next one is sales. So just really to get back to this quickly is that you can use this do nothing operation when I can, when nothing further happens. So I can put one here too if I wanted to. I'm not going to go mess around with that right now, but just wanted to point that out. Now, to complete the sales branch of the text classifier, now I want to send a text message, right? Now, there are a bunch of different options you can utilize for this, but the one I'm going to be using is Twilio because I have a Twilio account. Now, within that, you can actually have it make a phone call, which is scary, right? You can have your Divi forms make phone calls. That's wild. Or you can send an SMS. Now, I'm going to go with the SMS WhatsApp message here. And here it pulls up. Again, same thing with Google Sheets and OpenAI. You need a Twilio account and a Twilio API. I will link all this stuff in the description of the video for you. But just wanted to point this out. I've already set it up. Again, many videos, lots of documentation on that stuff for you. Okay, so our resource. Well, we're going to do an SMS. Operation, send. Yes, we're going to send one. the phone number. Now this comes from your Twilio account. And then the to number is going to be who do you want to have this sent to. Now, if you have multiple salespeople, you can have a node before this one that routes who it goes to, and it can set a variable for you, but we're not going to get into that right now. And then we've got WhatsApp, and I'm going to be using WhatsApp, right? Okay. Now, why is there no data on the left-hand side? Well, because the last test that we ran was for documentation. So let's go and quickly populate that. But this actually won't run until I've done that. So I'm just going to say hello, and I'm going to go back, and you can see that exclamation point means, oh, well, we want more stuff from you. So you need to go pull your data from Twilio and put your phone number in. Of course, for very good reason, I'm going to be blurring these out, but just wanted to make you aware. So let me do that really quickly. Okay, and by the magic of the internet and video editing, my phone numbers are in there and everything is fine. And I can go ahead and test this now. I'm going to go stop my previous test, and I'm going to activate the workflow test again, just so it starts fresh, and go back to my Divi form, and I will refresh this page. Okay, let's go now and say, Roby, test.test.com. And I will say, I want to know whether Divi Form Builder comes with AI features, which we know it very well does. And that this might be a little ambiguous and might not be classified as a sales message, but let's roll the dice here and see what happens. So I'm going to go back to my automation, and it actually knew to go to sales. How amazing is that? And now if I check my phone, I can see that it will actually go through and go to hello, but all this other information is nulled. My information should be blurred there, so we'll make sure that that's the case. But yeah, here you go. So we've got a Twilio account hooked up and everything, and that's working. Now that I have my test data in here, I can go ahead and select create an expression again, right? Because now we want to get a little interesting with what we're doing. So we want to say, you have a new pre-sales question from, and now you can go ahead and pull my name in here with that field ID, right? See how easy that is, from Roby. And then we're going to say, here is the message, and we'll pull that in also. There goes all of that fun stuff. And again, it'll preview the data for you. You have a new pre-sales question from Roby. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we'll say send again. And now it's got all the data in there. And we should be getting the pre-sales message right there. N8N, who knew? What an awesome extension for Divi Form Builder. So guys, how amazing was that with N8N, Divi Form Builder, kind of hacking away at that Zapier integration. So this is a great way to like not pay for Zapier and have all these amazing Zapier. I keep changing how I say that. Anyway, you guys tell me what the right way is. But how amazing is this? Because now you've opened up so many possibilities about what you can do with Divi Form Builder and the integration for the webhooks there. Your minds must be racing, because when I found this out, I was like, oh man, and there's so much that I could do. This tool can have access to Gmail. It can have access to so many other things. Like I can't even think of all of them right now, but you can interact with so many online tools through their APIs and stuff. And most of it's natively integrated. It's really an incredible tool to utilize alongside Divi Form Builder. If you guys want to see more content like this, of course, let me know. So if you haven't purchased Divi Form Builder yet, I strongly encourage you to, because it's a great feature that you can utilize. If you don't know about N8N, do some Googling, check out YouTube. That's how I learned how to utilize this. It's an amazing tool that can really level up your game and add AI agent to your resume. I don't know, but a lot of cool stuff there. So like, subscribe to this video, to this channel, and comment and let us know what you think, because I love making content like this. And you guys, if you tell me what else you want to see me do with Divi Form Builder and N8N, let me know. This has been Roby with the Divi Engine team. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. Bye for now.